the future, of course.
And only 17 years old, Eugene Laverty has got to be one to watch. Interestingly, his twin, Eamon, doesn't race motorcycles. So Eamon, the twin to Eugene...
He does the promotion.
Yes, exactly. And there's another Laverty, John Laverty as well, at 21 years old. So we've got... and of course, then there's Emma and Catherine, the sisters. So the Laverty family are here today. Will it be Eugene that brings them honours? First time round in the 125s. Good start from the third place on the grid there from Paul Robinson.
Good start for Eugene.
Oh, great start. But up the inside, it looks like Paul Robinson. No, it's not Paul Robinson.
Was it Tom Bridewell?
It's,
anyway,
yeah, I was going to say, Eugene did it to me. It was Paul Robinson. No, it was Tom Bridewell. You're absolutely right. I'm reading the numbers around the wrong way. Paul Robinson's on 81. 18 is Tom Bridewell. So out of turn 2, it is Eugene Laverty that's got an absolutely great start there at the moment.
Chris Weston in second, I think, number
17. It is. So 17, Chris Weston has got a flyer off row 2 on the grid. Michael Wilcox, eat your heart out because you needed that kind of start off the second row.
Well, that was a stunning lap time, a stunning pole position for Eugene Laverty. We'll just see now if anyone can hang on to him, if he can repeat that in the race.
Well, he's made that start, and that really is a critical situation around Mondello Park. You don't want to get mired in a problem. There is 18, Tom Bridewell in third place on the UK1 Racing Honda. But you have to say, with that qualifying situation... that
Tom Bridewell run... Yeah, he's still right.
Well, there it is. Laverty, Weston, Bridewell. Robinson has slipped to fourth place at the moment. Then it's Neat, that's a teammate to Eugene Laverty, your race leader. And Elkin in sixth place. 12 laps is your race distance. 125s are notorious for a bit of mid-race headbanging. And that will go down quite well here. My voice hasn't quite recovered from Scott Smart's pass in the British Superbikes yet, though. So any more of that, and I'll be wrecked by the time we get to race 4 in our series. Wow, look at this. Getting very close there was Paul Robinson on the Bluestone Racing Honda. So 81 is Paul Robinson, chasing really hard Tommy Bridewell on the UK1 Racing Honda. But out front still, Red Bull rookies, Eugene Laverty. Oh, there goes Paul Robinson, up the inside, bit of a spoiler there, into fourth place, was that? And was that Paul Robinson? No, it wasn't. Yes, it was.
It was.
Paul Robinson, well, we've commentated on him over a great deal of years now. He's, you will remember, been in British Grand Prix in the past in the 125 class, has led the British 125 Championship here before. 17, Chris Weston in second place, looking very good. He's managed to make the break, hasn't he, in second place, but he's going to have to work very hard to catch Eugene Laverty up front.
The great thing about 125 racing is you can have so many lines. On a super sport bike and definitely on a super bike, it's so difficult to change line mid-corner, but these guys can rush in, readjust their lines pretty much any time at any corner.
I have to say that one of the things that I've found remarkable, especially if you compare it with Brands Hatch a few weeks ago, of course, that we've had not many, I know I'm going to be touching wood here, not many crashes this weekend in free practice and qualifying, which, considering the nature of the track, how twisty and difficult it is, I thought that we would have more.
And it is very bumpy, but I think there's a lot of grip in the surface, and that's always a big factor.
Paul Robinson made up another place, so Paul Robinson is on a fly here, and everybody is passing 18. So Tommy Bridewell is going backwards for some reason. Tommy Bridewell has slipped back 28 now, finds himself in all sorts of trouble as well. That's John Vincent on the JVR Mace Engineering Honda.
At the same time, Michael Wilcox, number 1 there, he's made up another position.
So we are only on lap 2 and they are swapping places all over. That's number 1, Michael Wilcox, that we're looking at there on the blue bike. So Michael Wilcox now threatening for Christian Elkin. And he is threatening as well, but look at the leaders that they've got. They've got such, well, they've got all of that back straight, haven't they? They're already well and truly on the start and finish straight, as we can see.
Quite unusual for 125 racing.
It is actually, and having said at the beginning of this programme exactly how exciting this was going to be, at the moment Eugene Laverty is defying that.
You should keep quiet in future.
Oh, you know my problem.
Another important aspect of 125 racing is always slipstreaming in long straights, and of course there's no long straights here, so there's not a great deal of that going on.
It's just cut, thrust and hustle. 81, Paul Robinson.
Michael Laverty, fastest lap so far, 148.410 on the second lap.
So Eugene Laverty out front still. You do the same as me, don't you?
So far too many of them this weekend.
Let's take another look at this. As up the inside comes number 1,
Michael Wilcox.
Series leader Michael Wilcox, bouncing it into the last turn on the track.
Christian Elkin there even had a bit of a look just in case there was someone coming, and there was.
Michael Wilcox has taken 2 wins of the 4 rounds so far. Eugene Laverty just 1. I think he'll be taking this one, barring a Michael Rutter, of course. Bridewell, Pallet, Clark, Dixon, Stott and Grant round out our top 12 of the leaderboard. Oh, Michael Wilcox there with that bike on the move. They ask so much from such a little contact area, don't they? The contact patch of the tyres on a 125. Because it's a real, you can't have big fat tyres, they'll be too slow in a straight line. But it is a tiny, tiny contact patch, and I don't know how they do it.
Well,
having never raced the 125.
Well, I never raced the 125, but I actually tested Kenny Tibble's championship winning 125 at the end of the season a few years ago, and I was surprised how good they actually are. They're proper little race bikes with a whole ton of grip and very fast as well. A lot better than expected to ride and a lot of fun.
Well, 120 miles an hour is their top speed here, and that's not particularly fast, but if you walked around Mondello Park or took a drive around it, if you were able to do that, you would see it. It's a very tight, twisty track with virtually no straight. Our camera makes that look like a long straight, but believe me, it really isn't. So, still leading, Eugene Laverty by 2.3 seconds after 3 laps. And that is a massive lead by 125 standards. And he has the fastest lap at 1 minute 48.395 as well.
He really has underlined just exact how superior he was in practice. 0.8 of a second faster than anyone in practice, and he's repeating it now in the race. Number 50, Eugene.
Well, we saw the Superbike record blitzed in race 1 on Sky Sports today. And really, Eugene Laverty doesn't need to break records, but he looks so calm, cool and collected, he just might. He's a little under the lap record at the moment. Fastest lap, 148.395. The actual lap record, as you can see, is by Bridewell at 148.01. So just, nearly 0.4 of a second off of that. Not bad considering he's not being hurried by anybody.
Not bad at all.
Third of the way through this race then, just over. Eugene Laverty, great style as well. He's got lovely style, hasn't he?
He has looked good, and of course these guys, I watched them pre-season testing in Valencia. They mirrored the testing of the HM Plant Honda team. They were alongside them all the tests, as indeed were the Rizla Suzuki team. So they had a good pre-season testing. A professional little team, proper bikes, looked after with proper mechanics, and as you said, Brains, one of the best guys in the paddock, especially in 2-strokes. Doing a good job.
I think the thing that Brains was at pains to point out, pardon the poor thing at poetry there, but they're on 04 bikes, they're on 2004 bikes, talking about Eugene Laverty and his teammate of course, but they're standard motors. Brains has tuned the crankcases and the carbs together a little bit, and they've got a different head kit on it, but it's available to everybody. But they're not full works, as in factory motors in these bikes that Eugene are riding.
Michael Wilcox on a charge.
And 4 new lap records. So that's the 2nd lap record broken today, and it was by Michael Wilcox, the series leader. He's on the number 1 bike in 4th place at the moment. You can see him there, the blue bike. And Michael Wilcox clearly on a charge. He has annihilated the lap record here. I think I said at the top of the show that we were going to see records broken throughout the day. I'd be surprised if any of the lap records, any of the races that we feature, didn't see lap records broken today. It's just such a perfect day for racing motorcycles.
Yeah, you're right. The bikes, the kits are available to anyone, and there's only so much horsepower you can get out of these. If you try too hard, you make them unreliable. It really is a rider, it makes a difference. But of course, power to weight ratio is really important. If you're small and you can get tucked in and you only weigh 5 stone, then it gives you a huge advantage.
Well, for Joey Dunlop fans, Michael Dunlop, family member of course, has retired from this race. He entered this race at the last minute on bike number 10, but Michael Dunlop sadly is out of the race now. He is a retirement at the pits, and we'd have liked to have seen him perform good here of course, but all experience is good experience. Michael Dunlop then in the pits. We are looking at 17. Weston in 2nd place, but under pressure from Paul Robinson, former Grand Prix rider, in 3rd place at the moment. No one can touch Eugene Laverty. What it's all about though is what damage limitation Michael Wilcox can do there. 3rd in our picture, 4th on the road. Number 1 Michael Wilcox leads this series at the moment. He's had 2 wins already. He's on 70 points compared with Eugene Laverty's 61. Of course, Eugene will have a 5-point advantage in this race if Wilcox finishes 2nd. And I have to say, Michael Wilcox, having just set the fastest lap, looks like the man most likely to pick up that place.
He certainly is. You can see Robinson there having to go number 81 down the inside of Chris Weston, number 17. But the danger man there is Wilcox in fourth, and there he goes round the outside into turn 3. Can he do it? It's a long way around. It's a difficult pass to pull off that. He can get alongside, but you always get your nose cut off coming round on the exit.
Looking for the inside line. Wow, he made him look silly, really, didn't he? He's stuck it up the inside of Paul Robinson, and that is not a man you would expect to be made look silly like that.
Well, he's a class act. Very clean manoeuvre there.
So, Michael Wilcox through on Paul Robinson. Paul Robinson must have wondered where he came from and why he left him the room. Next up is Chris Weston. Chris Weston on 17 in second place. He's going to get swamped by Michael Wilcox. This is how he did it on Paul Robinson.
Nice
Managed
move
to get it under him and then pull it down without losing the place on the exit. Great stuff. Chris Weston, 17. Number 1, Michael Wilcox, still leading is Eugene Laverty on number 50. So the 17-year-old leads at the moment. Mum Sheila and Dad Mickey are here at trackside as well, and I know that back at Mallon's Bar in Toonbridge they'll all be cheering on. They're watching this live, of course, so a big shout for Mallon's Bar at the moment. Get another one down your neck, I would. 17, Weston, second, but not for long, because Wilcox is right there with him.
He is on a charge. It's just a matter of time, really. Maybe not last turn here, but I would think definitely on the next lap.
Still in.
The gap is 2.9 seconds Eugene Laverty has gone over the line. Just see if that's stayed the same, and then see if Wilcox can do anything about that if he does get into second.
Eugene Laverty's got a 4.1 second lead. I mean, Eugene Laverty really is in a special mode here at the moment. I don't think I've seen this year in 125 racing. And the young lady, Lisa Thorne, has just retired on the team Nvidia. She's just pulled into the pits as well. Actually, that's another thing. It's not just a male domain, is it, 125? It's probably worth a shout that we've got a couple of pretty good girl runners out here as well. No comment comes from...
No, for sure. I mean, girls, yeah.
You've got Jenny Tinmouth out there as well. She rides pretty well.
And it is the class. Girls, I guess, being physically less strong than the guys. 125s are manageable for girls. So yeah, a few out there, and good riders as well.
Michael Wilcox looking more and more threatening. He's picking his line through there. Chris Weston is going to get swamped any minute now. Michael Wilcox has absolutely got this side, the section of the track sorted out. Paul Robinson can only watch. He's already been swamped on bike 81. 17 is Chris Weston. Here comes Wilcox. He looks very, very good on that motorcycle. Still out front, I remind you, Eugene Laverty. 4.1 seconds was his lead when he got to the end of the last lap. That was lap 6. We're on lap 7 now. Who's closing in there? It is number 4, of course, Elkin. So Elkin is closing right up. Christian Elkin, when the UK one bike. Yeah, indeed. So Christian Elkin is not out of this at the moment. He's in 5th place and closing on Paul Robinson on bike 81 in 4th place. Still Weston in 2nd. I don't think these guys are worried about Eugene Laverty. I think they basically let him get off and do his own thing, and perhaps they're hoping to see a Michael Rutter type incident. There goes Wilcox up the inside then on the... He's out too wide there though. Whether he's got enough drive down the front to hold on to that, we're going to find out, because Chris Weston will have had the throttle on a little bit longer, and certainly did actually make the drive.
I think he's in a bit too hot. He's going to make it.
Pulled it down. No problem.
Well done.
Shows you what we know about 125 riding, doesn't it?
Well, I reckon Michael Wilcox would have had him on that last lap, and he nearly did, but he's back in that same position.
He just found himself with the corner speed is everything on a 125. They don't have the power to pull him out of the corner if they make a mistake, and Michael Wilcox made a slight mistake on the last turn of the course, didn't have the drive out on, didn't carry the corner speed out onto the front straight. And it was, of course, Chris Weston who made him pay for that all the way down the front straight. Yeah,
there's no way you can square corners off in these things and make the exit of the corners. Absolutely no torque in these engines at all.
None. 4.4 seconds is the lead from Eugene Laverty at the front on bike number 50. The Red Bull Rookies bike. It's a great little team, really well run, really well turned out. Of course, Johnny Ray, there's another Ulsterman. Of course, Johnny Ray's running in the Supersport class alongside, and young Johnny Ray, son of the famous Johnny Ray, as Wilcox again up the side of Chris Weston.
This time made it stick.
Made it stick good time this time through that double right hand. That's a lovely little part of the track, that is.
A little bit of front chatter from Weston mid-corner there, just in the middle of that pass.
So on lap 8, coming towards the end of lap 8, we have Michael Wilcox, series leader, that goes into 2nd place and minimises the damage that the 2nd place in the series Eugene Laverty holds at the moment. Of course, Eugene, well, he's going to leap right up onto the tail in the championship of Michael Wilcox. I don't think Michael Wilcox has anything like enough time to catch this man at the moment, Eugene Laverty, although Eugene Laverty did have a little bit of bad luck at the last round at Alton Park.
Well, he would need at least a second a lap, and I don't think that's feasible.
Well, I was only saying that if there was a similar amount of bad luck. Now then, a faller it would seem at the moment. Is that Richard Murphy? Richard Murphy on the Manning Collections.
Number 29.
Honda. It is then Richard Murphy. So on lap 9, the motorcycle doesn't look too badly damaged. Oh, some biggin in the background.
That's
there.
Eugene Laverty. It was the Red Bull rookie
no,
bike.
I think it wasn't. It was Elkin, I think. It's his teammate. It's Neat, sorry. Might have been 77 Neat.
It was definitely a Red Bull Honda.
77
right.
Stephen Neat, I think.
Yeah, right.
So,
heart attack
well,
city
that was, it just goes to show you how those bikes pick up. They're so light that when they launch big time and look like big accidents. But as we saw there, well, that is bad luck indeed. He was having quite a ride as well. So 77 is Stephen Neat on the Red Bull rookie's bike, and he was in 6th place. He passed Bridewell, bike number 18, who'd been slipping back down through the order. Tommy Bridewell not having a great day here at Mondello. I would hasten to add that possibly he has a problem that's thwarting his rather good start at the beginning of this race. So on lap 9, Bridewell will move up to 6th, Guyver will move up to 7th, Clark will move up to 8th, and Dickinson will move up to 9th. Still out front though.
Chris Weston hanging on.
Yeah, big time. Oh, down goes Michael Wilcox. Well, he wasn't hanging on.
Oh, you just can't see why that happened. He was
just lost the front. He's just feathering the front brake, and he lost the front end. It tucked under. That is such a... Yeah, just no chance to save it once the front gets under you. We did mention that these tyres have the minimal amount of contact area on the tarmac, and Michael Wilcox, the series leader, will now lose the lead in the series unless this man, Eugene Laverty, does the same kind of trick somewhere in the closing stages of this race. He won't know at this point that Michael Wilcox is out of the race. He will have known that Michael Wilcox was up to 2nd place. So Eugene Laverty could still be pushing at this moment in time until he either sees this guy in the dirt or gets a board to say that Wilcox is out. Yeah. So Eugene Laverty will maybe still be pushing hard, and if he makes a mistake like that, then well, he'll be kicking himself. But at the moment,
such a fine line.
Yeah, well, it is a fine line on a 125, and you've got to feel sorry for Michael Wilcox. At the end of the day, Eugene Laverty at 17 is a young up-and-coming rider. Michael Wilcox at 30-something is a man perhaps that's out there having a great time and wanting to win this championship. It is a British championship, remember, but tomorrow's future is with men like this guy. Laverty then with a big lead, 4.2 seconds over Chris Weston now, who's had the pressure taken off of him, unless of course Paul Robinson manages to close in, because Robinson is only 0.3 seconds further back. Oh, I heard another crash then in my headphones, unless someone dropped a can of beer. Oh dear me, it's Weston down. Weston has gone down at 17, the 2nd place man, Chris Weston, I'm sure it is. It is? Oh. So, first in 2nd place, we lost Michael Wilcox. Now we lost Chris Weston. Chris Weston was what? 6th in the championship so far. No challenges to Eugene Laverty. This young man can clearly walk on water. Chris Weston, how happy will he be? Wow. Another young man that we expect so much from. And you can see the frustration. So it will be Paul Robinson who moves up into 2nd place. And it will be Christian Elkin, number 4, that will move up into 3rd place. Wow, what a turnaround in the last couple of laps.
It's never over, it's over. I just want this man to bring it home now, Eugene Laverty. He looks like he's in control. He's been past his pit board, so he'll know the main competition's out, and he knows he's got over 4 seconds lead.
Well, this is Michael Wilcox again as the front end breaks away. What are we going to call this? Michael Rutter syndrome? Unforced errors?
Well, it just shows you it's such a fine line. I mean, I'm sure that was the last thing he thought was going to happen.
Michael Wilcox then looking, well, rueful, I'm sure.
Track temperature is up a fair bit, not more than it's been all weekend, so the track temperature is fairly hot. That's going to make a difference in grip, going to make a difference to the tyres, and definitely a difference to feel, especially the front.
Well, we are on lap 11. It's the penultimate lap of this British 125 Championship race for GP 125 Grand Prix bikes. Eugene Laverty, we'll call it his home track. It's not, of course, he's an Ulsterman, but same country. And same pressure applies. A lot of famous ex-racers, famous current racers from the north have all come down here to watch the racing. Gary Cowan, big shout out for Gary Cowan, former 250 Grand Prix runner, Kenny Roberts' team member. Sadly, big accident for him, put paid to his career. He's here this afternoon as well. Alan Patterson's wandering around, another good Grand Prix rider.
Another familiar face I saw this morning, Davy Woods, Joey Dunlop's long-time manager and friend in the Rizla Hospitality today, so good to see Davy out there.
Yeah, very good to see Davy suffering from an illness that he's battling with quite severely at the moment, Davy Wood. I know that we've mentioned him a few times and he's appreciated that, and again, Davy, well, I saw him last night, and he had a lot of good words to say about some of the young Ulstermen, and really people like Davy are responsible for bringing on
a major force.
Indeed, a major force in Irish racing. Oh, I'll tell you what, he's making that front end skip. We're on the final lap, of course, now. Eugene Laverty has got this absolutely covered. He's 4.1 seconds in front of Paul Robinson, another Ulsterman in second place, and then Christian Elkin in third place on bike number 4. They're fairly spread out, and that is unusual as far as 125 racing is concerned at any track. Bridewell is up into 4th place, 5th place is Guyver, 6th place is Clark. That's your front runners. But Eugene Laverty, it's been a masterclass from the Red Bull rookie 17-year-old. He has made this look so good for him. The lap record has gone to Michael Wilcox, but qualifying pole position and race win looks to be going Eugene Laverty's way. We have just got a few hundred yards left to go. And Marco will be really happy. Marco alias Brains down in the Red Bull Rookies team will be so happy to see Eugene take this win. It'll be his second win then of the series, and he will go into the lead of the British 125 GP Championship. This will be our only foray into that live here on Sky Sports, and it's not been perhaps the most enthralling race, but you are looking at a future champion in the world, of course. I think Eugene Laverty will definitely be moving onwards and upwards through Grand Prix in later years, and this is a glimpse you get of him here on Sky Sports this year, and he comes to the line, calm, cool and collected to take the win here, his second of the series. So Laverty crosses the line, some 4 seconds further behind will be Paul Robinson. It is Paul Robinson that crosses the line. Christian Elkin comes in third place now. Results of our 125 outing that we saw just a few moments ago. Eugene Laverty taking the win by eventually 3.2 seconds. It could have been longer, of course, but he laid it off a little bit in the last lap. Paul Robinson eventually comes through into second place after the crashes of the men that filled that place for just a short period of time. Chris Elking getting third place in the end and going up onto the podium. Tom Bridewell, Rob Guyver, Brian Clark, Joe Dickinson and Tom Grant round out our leaderboard. Tim Stott in 9th place, Ashley Beach, William Dunlop, Ty Kinton, Andrew Sewell, Aaron Walker and Jay Glynn takes the last point in the British 125 Championship. Now then, Eugene Laverty has taken over the lead of the championship from Michael Wilcox, who slipped to 3rd behind Christian Elking too. So the championship is alive and kicking by the mistakes of Michael Wilcox, and eventually Stephen Neat also crashing out from that 2nd place. John Pearson, he's not here because he's got a broken collarbone, so he stays on 44. Chris Weston and Tom Bridewell, Paul Robinson